In problem 4, we want to work some more atoms to moles or moles to atoms conversion problems. And so for problem A here, we want to write the equivalency. We know that 1 mole of lithium is equal to 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd atoms of lithium. This is Avogadro's number, and you'll need to memorize this. What we want to do now is start off with the dimensional analysis. We want to start with the given units here. We're starting with 4.50 moles of lithium, okay? And write a fraction bar. And then we want the units to cancel. So we want 1 mole of lithium to be on the bottom of this fraction. And on top, we want there to be 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd atoms of lithium, okay? And here's where you need to grab your calculator and type in 4.50 times 6.022 exp 23, okay? exp, or the EE key, will help you do the powers of 10. This equals, if we round this off to 3 sig figs, 2.71 times 10 to the power of 24. Your 24 will be at the very right of your calculator. My display looks like this. There's this little 2 and 4 up at the top. So that 2, 4 is really times 10 to the power 24. And we have 3 sig figs from these first 3 digits. We don't count the 1 or the 0 or the 2, 4, okay? So our units here are atoms of lithium, okay? So that's going to be our final answer. In part B, we're dealing with a different substance, molecules of CO2, and we're starting with this many moles of CO2. So 1 mole of CO2, because this substance is a molecule, is equal to this many individual molecules of CO2, okay? There is no abbreviation for molecules. You've just got to write it all out. Now, we do the dimensional analysis, so we're starting from 0.0180 moles of CO2, and set up your fraction bar. And we want 1 mole of CO2 to be on the bottom. Okay, so that cancels. And we want the other thing to be on top, the 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd CO2, and you've just got to write out this whole thing, molecules. And then grab your calculator and determine what the number is there. So 3 sig figs would be 1.08 times 10 to the power 22, and we need to write out this whole thing here, molecules, okay? So it's always a good idea to write out the chemical formula and the type of material you're talking about, grams or moles or atoms or molecules, something like that. For part C, we are starting with atoms, and we want moles, okay? So what we need to do here is once again write out the equivalency. 1 mole of copper is equal to a gazillion atoms of copper. Okay, then we do the dimensional analysis. The problem starts us off with a quantity of 7.8 times 10 to the 21, and the units there are atoms of copper. And you want to set up your fraction bar, and for the units to cancel, we want the 6.022 times 10 to the power 23rd to be on the bottom here. Okay, And up on top, we want there to be 1 mole. And so the atoms cancels here, and we want to grab our calculator and get the answer. Now, if your calculator gives you something like 10 to the power 45 or something like that, you want to try to re-enter it into your calculator using parentheses around the bottom portion. All right, so on my calculator, I type 7.8 exp21 divide 6.022 exp23. And I get a value of 0.13. Wait, this one has 2 sig figs, so 0.013 is the answer, okay? And the units, mole copper. All right. Next up, we're dealing with C2H6. All right. So we know that 1 mole of any substance, no matter what the formula, is going to be equal to an Avogadro's number of atoms or moles. Now this is a molecule, so we write molecule. And the chemical formula is C2H6, okay? So to do the dimensional analysis, we're starting off with this quantity of molecules. And there's no abbreviation for molecules, so you just kind of have to write it all out there. And we want molecules to cancel, so I want the 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd molecules of C2H6 to be on the bottom here. And on the other side of the fraction, I want 1 mole of C2H6. So molecules of C2H6 cancels. And again, use parentheses if your calculator is giving you different numbers here. And we'll calculate this out. And I get a final value of 0.623. And that's accurate or precise out to 3 significant figures. And the units there are moles. Moles of what? C2H6, okay? So those are some basic mole conversion problems. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe if you like to see these videos.